getting tougher. Penetration levels are much higher. You have many more operators in each country. In some of the countries, like we said, Ghana has 6 operators. There's been a lot of pressure on pricing and also a lot of competition in terms of acquiring subscribers. So generally the environment is getting tougher.
That being said, you managed to grow revenue by 17.5%, 66.4 billion rand is what you made. In constant currency terms, it was up by 12.5%. Where are you seeing the most organic growth coming through in sales?
If you look at in most countries in terms of local currency organic growth, we're getting good growth in South Africa, in Ghana, in Iran, Uganda. So most of our large and mid-sized operations are showing good growth. Nigeria was not as high as what we would have expected, and we've indicated that the decline in pricing has impacted the overall revenue growth quite significantly.
It's a fierce market in terms of competition there. Obviously, a lot of operators vying for a very key growth market on the continent. Your market share has slipped back once again to 48%. Revenue growth was subdued, 4.4% growth there. What's been going wrong in the market? Why are you underperforming there?
Well, I don't think it's a question of what's going wrong and whether we are underperforming. I think the issue is that it's a very active market. You have very strong players vying for market share, and we happen to have a 50% market share in a 4 strong player market, and what does tend to happen is that you do have a situation over a quarter or over a couple of months where promotions by a particular operator tend to dominate. We have been concerned about our network capacity and hence the significant network rollout. We appreciate the fact that we have been our pricing has been at a premium, and that's really one of the main reasons why we did not perform as well as we would have liked in terms of subscriber acquisition. But we're now comfortable that with the network rollout, we can become more competitive on a pricing point of view. So we'll see that change as we go into the second half of the year.
Clearly an important market for you with 43 million subscribers. And as you say, CapEx spend just over this period is more than double what you're spending in South Africa, 4.4 billion rand. Do you have any time period and when you're actually going to see that infrastructure spend, that investment delivering on the profit revenue side?
Well, it is delivering. I mean, we're getting margins of 60%, as you have seen from our half-year results. So we're getting good delivery in terms of this market. I guess the challenges are, as we go forward, is the issue of pricing. How aggressive is the pricing going to be, and also the network infrastructure investment that will be required to cater for increased traffic. But then again, you should remember Nigeria is a population of about 160 million. So we will find ourselves probably building the biggest network on the continent.
Iran has also, of course, been a strong performer over this period in terms of subscribers. You're sitting at 38.3 million. In Real, the revenue was up by 28.3%, market share growing to 47%. What type of mix of product offerings, what have you got right in this market?
We've got literally all the elements of the business going very well. Network rollout has been very good. The quality of the network has been good. The coverage has also been very good. From a product and services point of view, we've been very responsive to the market. We do churn out products and services, very, very rapidly. We respond to the competition very quickly. So overall, and then from a distribution point of view, we've developed a very good both physical and electronic distribution. So it's overall been a very good operation that's performing well.
You've mentioned that the third mobile operator's exclusivity on 3G ends next year, May. How's this going to present an opportunity for you, and what does this mean in terms of data offerings going forward?
Well, if you look at the hunger for data in Iran, we believe that getting a 3G network is going to be a major opportunity. SMS revenue has been very strong. We have rolled out a WiMAX network, but clearly, just from what we see from the WiMAX network, the potential is quite significant, and therefore we would like to roll out a 3G network as soon as we can.
That being said, of course, there's also increasing pressure on countries and businesses like yourself doing business in Iran. Have you been impacted by the US pressing for sanctions against businesses or countries doing business in the country?
Look, I think the first thing is that the sanctions do not target telecommunications operators. I think that's the first thing. The ways the sanctions are structured is actually quite complex and impacts different industries differently. I think the key issue in terms of how we are impacted now has been the issue of how financial institutions work with or respond with Iran in relation to the US sanctions. That's probably the most challenging part for us, the fact that financial institutions generally are not transacting with Iran.
Is it going to limit your growth in the country? Is it going to impact the business going forward?
As the impact that it probably will have is that we will see further deterioration of the rial against international currencies, and that would probably have inflationary pressures, and then that will impact on the disposable income of the population. So there will come a time when it will have an impact on our industry as much as it is having on other consumer industries.
Can you also give us an update on the ongoing legal proceedings with Turkcell in the United States?
We have indicated that we filed a submission for dismissal in July, and they have had to respond, which I think they have done. And we will then put in our final response, and then it will be up to the judge.
I mean, from the outset, some of the shareholders who don't know intimately the business and all the kind of nuances of each of the markets, they would see problems in Iran, concerns around sanctions, concerns around Turkcell, subdued growth in Nigeria, another key market for you. Of course, strong growth in South Africa. I mean, how do you build confidence in shareholders that MTN will be okay in these markets where you are having a bit of problem?
Look, we will get through whatever the problems are. I mean, going through problems in any market is a normal part of business. There are many different sources of challenges, and our job as management is to work through those challenges and make sure the business continues to perform. I don't think any of the challenges that we are faced with are insurmountable. Yes, the issue of sanction is probably beyond our control. That's probably the one that's the most difficult. But I believe that we are managing it. We are working closely with South African government authorities and also the US authorities to make sure that we don't break any sanctions rules. And that's working quite well.